That project involved shared services in cash management and cash processing and data centers and operations. It involved an increased use of technology. So you now have POS terminals, ATMs, mobile banking, NIPS transfers. For those of you who work as you deal with banks, you now know about NIPS Instant. You can move your money. The clearing days have been shortened. In that process, we have looked at how we can be more efficient in the management of cash. In 2009, we did a study and saw that of all the cash transactions done in Nigerian banks, only 10% were for more than 150,000 naira. And that 10% accounted for over 70% of the value of the cash. So you have a very small number of customers that's a very heavy user of cash. And we spend a lot of money printing paper for them. Now I've heard all sorts of statistics. And people, with statistics, it depends on what you want to say. People say, well, the GDP of America is so much, and their highest currency is $100. So our GDP is so much, therefore our currency should not be 5,000. I'll give you another statistic. In the 1970s, when the 20 naira was introduced, 20 naira was the equivalent of $30. In 2013, when we introduced 5,000 naira notes, 5,000 naira will be the equivalent of $30. It's a statistic. If you could buy $30 with one 20 naira bill in 1978, you now need 250 20 naira bills to buy $30. I would have to print those 250 bills, pay for the paper, for the ink, for the security features, for transportation, for insurance, for clearing, for the bullion vans, for the vault space, for the staff, banks will pay for the staff who are counting, processing, disposing. And these are costs to the economy. It's simple. You have had years of inflation. You've had devaluation of the currency after the crisis. We're printing more and more paper for transactions. Or you can take other statistics. Don't compare the GDP of UK and the GDP of Nigeria and then try to look at the value of the currency. Why don't you tell me what is the percentage of the money supply in the United States that is currency in circulation? And what proportion of transactions in America and the UK are done in cash? Now we decided to attack these costs by improving the efficiency in our procurement processes and also introducing policies. And we've published the results. Our annual accounts are there. The total cost of printing and minting all denominations of currency in Nigeria in 2009 was 47 billion. By 2011, we had brought these costs down to 32 billion. And by 2014, we'll be at 25 billion. We would have saved 50% of the total cost of procurement. Now this is 32 billion last year for all denominations of currency, printing and minting. And yet somebody wakes up and says the central bank is spending 40 billion to print 5,000 naira notes. A newspaper just writes the number, quotes a source that is unnamed, that is supposed to be a source of the central bank, and everybody has picked that 40 billion. It cost us 32 billion to print and mint every denomination in 2011. These notes cannot cost more than 2 or 3 billion. But 40 billion is the number. In fact, yesterday, in a newspaper, the publisher on the back page had an article attacking me for spending 40 billion, when inside the newspaper there was an advertorial by the central bank giving the numbers. You know, it's an interesting country. You know, my uncle, or my father, the former head of state, General Obasanjo. You know, I like Obasanjo. He's a very successful farmer, but he's a very bad economist. He stands up. He stands up, and you know, he loves me, and he stands up and says that this higher denomination notes will cause inflation and impose hardship. I said, General Obasanjo did 20 naira. He did 100 naira, 200, 500, and 1,000. He has introduced more higher denominations in Nigeria than any head of state. And you see, and when General Obasanjo he did 100 in 1999, then he did 200 in 2000, did 500 I think 2 years later, did what? And in that period, inflation was coming down. It was coming down because it was accompanied by very tight monetary and fiscal policies during his reforms. Now, for somebody who has gone through that, who has in the business, to come and stand up and say introducing a higher denomination causes inflation. I don't know if somebody wrote the speech. I'm trying to see him, or if he was misquoted. Because if he actually said that, then he must be the single most important determinant of inflation in our history, given the number of notes he has introduced. We all know that you cannot have inflation simply because you produce a denomination if you don't increase money supply. It's basic economics. We all know it. And yet, we keep repeating the opposite deliberately, and people talk, and you wonder, what is the transmission channel between a new denomination and prices? What? We say we're introducing coins. We are introducing coins. They say we are eliminating the notes. You have 20 naira notes. We are introducing the coins. Why are we introducing the coins? A number of reasons. First, logical, again, as part of our cost management, the 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira notes have a very high frequency, and we have to replace them every 3 months. The coins last longer. Second, we are working on a hypothesis that the reason Nigerians did not accept the 1 naira, 2 naira coins is because they couldn't buy anything with them. And maybe if you give them coins that have value, that have a value as a medium of exchange, they would accept them.